The New Orleans Saints versus the Atlanta Falcons. One of these, played 2 out of 3 weeks type division matchups that we're seeing a lot this, as we close out the season this year. Look, the New Orleans Saints flattened the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos, by the way, pathetic coaching yesterday. They went out and they basically just said, you know what, we have no chance. We're not even going to try. All the Denver Broncos, their only option wasn't to promote a fourth-string, not even a fourth, a wide receiver off the practice squad. That wasn't the option. The option was to just play running back, wildcat, all game, promote your offensive linemen, deactivate your peripheral wide receivers. Don't go 3 wide. They're going 3 wide receiver against the New Orleans Saints defense. Are you kidding me? With a quarterback that can't throw? Throw an early interception in that game. Pathetic. But credit the New Orleans Saints, because New Orleans Saints did exactly what the Denver Broncos should have tried to do, and they just ran right through the Broncos, dominated the whole game. Taysom Hill now 2-0 as a starter. Drew Brees is going to be out till week 15 at the earliest, it looks like. So he's got another few games. A running quarterback that can throw every now and then, but I still think his value is the runner. So Taysom Hill, obviously a start. He's still available in waivers for a lot of people out there. Pick him up. Start your running backs. Honestly, I think at this point you could probably even start Latavius Murray if you're super desperate. To me, that's a daily fantasy play, not an actual fantasy football play. But Latavius Murray got a couple of touchdowns yesterday with the Saints just being, hey, we're going to run over you. He's going to get touches because they're going to rotate out Alvin Kamara, who they like to throw to more so anyway. Outside of like Michael Thomas, I'm not really starting the receivers just because of how this passing team is. The Atlanta Falcons, I think they're going to have a better game than they saw last week. Last time we played the New Orleans Saints. I think Matt Ryan's a start. I think that I'd stay away from running back, but we'll see if Julio can be back. I know he was out with a hamstring injury this week, but I'd start definitely Calvin Ridley. If Julio Jones cannot go, I start Gage. If he can go, then I'd start Julio. I stay away from Gage. And then Hayden Hurst, if you want to cross your fingers and roll the dice and close your eyes and say a prayer or two, you could start Hayden Hurst as well at tight end. Take it away, David.
Yeah, I mean, this Saints offense is completely different with Taysom Hill under center.
And credit Peyton because he adjusted. Denver, I just look. I know this isn't a Denver segment, but I could not understand. I was watching this game, like looking forward to, like, are we going to see Oklahoma from the '80s? Are we going to see nothing but wishbone and you just like option and all this stuff? And they came out trying to execute their offense, and I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And New Orleans just comes out and they play to their strengths, Sean Payton, and they run the ball just right through Denver. And I was just like, what is going on here? But kudos to the coaching staff, because I bang on Sean Payton and that stupid visor all the time, but he works with what he has, and he's a really good coach, man. Sorry, David.
Yeah, I was a little surprised too that there was so much East-West action going on in that Denver. I felt like it should have been up the gut every play.
Oh my gosh,
I mean,
it's your only option.
It is really, and it's easy for us to say, we don't know how many plays they actually had in their playbook, how much time they actually had to put together plays but still, you're in the NFL. You got to come up with something a little bit better, a little bit more north-south next time. But regardless, I don't think they stood a chance anyway, so it's water under the bridge. But New Orleans is what we need to talk about here. New Orleans, this is a different offense with a completely different offense with Taysom Hill under center. Latavius Murray is probably the more valuable fantasy back right now. He has been through 2 weeks with Taysom Hill. The first week against Atlanta, Murray and Kamara each scored exactly 10.5 points. 10.5, exact same amount of points. This past week, it wasn't even close. Alvin Kamara scored 6 points. 6.2 points. Latavius Murray had 27. If you get the 2-point bump for a 100-yard game, he had 25 without the 2-point bump. Mm-hmm. But that's 37 points in 2 games as opposed to 16 for Alvin Kamara in 2 games. So this is very concerning, especially when you consider the fact that they've stuck with Taysom Hill through these 2 games. And if they start him again this week 13, and Drew Brees is looking to come back, say, week 14, I mean, what happens if Drew Brees retires this year? Yeah. What happens if he retires this year? And you haven't gotten any look at Jameis Winston. It almost seems like Taysom Hill would be the guy they would turn to next year if Drew Brees did end up retiring this year. And that is concerning for if you have Alvin Kamara on your dynasty rosters. Would I go out and sell Alvin Kamara because of that concern? Absolutely not. Because if they bring in another quarterback, it's not Taysom Hill. You just sold Alvin Kamara for a little bit of fear for no reason. But he's absolutely not a buy right now. You're absolutely not going out of your way to pay for this guy to go get him on your team while there's that uncertainty. You could look at it as maybe it's a buy low opportunity while there is that uncertainty to capitalize on. But you're taking on a lot of risk if Taysom Hill is indeed the starter next year because his receptions have dried up. He's got one reception in 2 games. That's not good. Michael Thomas as well, his production has dried up. And if you got these guys on your roster, it's a concern for next year. I mean, it's absolutely a concern for next year. So I wouldn't be looking to sell him, but I sure wouldn't be looking to buy him unless I was pretty 100% sure that Taysom Hill is not going to be the guy next year.
Completely agree. Let me hit you with the line here. New Orleans, according to Bovada, -3.5 on the road versus Atlanta. Who do you got?
3.5. I'm going to take New Orleans.
Yeah, I think Atlanta will play better. I think New Orleans. Screw it. I'm going to take Atlanta in an upset. They're going to upset the New Orleans Saints. They know what the Saints are going to do. They just got big brothered, a couple weeks ago, manhandled, physically. I think the Atlanta Falcons, after what they showed they could do against Vegas, I think they'll come back in a little bit of a revenge. And Matt Ryan is still Matt Ryan. Look, he's not my favorite guy in the world, but he can put up points. So this Saints kind of thing, if Atlanta takes an early lead, we kind of get into a weird situation.